Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday, heart leaders. Happy Monday to you. It is a great day to be alive. We're full of purpose. We're full of oh gosh, great ideas and vision and strategies, right? To be a blessing to everyone around us. And so, no matter what you're facing today, just take a moment to just remember that you're here and you're still alive for a purpose. And that is something to celebrate, okay? Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Wanita Mercer. I am the founder and chief heart leader of Lead My Heart Executive Coaching and Consulting. And so, what I typically do is just take a moment to respond to some headlines. And right now, this headline that I'm responding to is the recent changes in England, with the death of their monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, and the beginning of the reign of King Charles III. And so this is a great opportunity for us to talk about legacy, succession, and transitions in organizations, because that is something that we all deal with. And to see this happening on such a big scale as it is right now in England is a great opportunity for us to just kind of look at their example as what to do, what not to do, maybe what we can do a little bit better, and so on. And so I just want to take a moment as everyone is getting on to say, hey, engage with me, okay? Comment, let me know that you're here, like the video, share the video on your personal timeline as well. Hey, tag people, people that are in executive leadership and are always dealing with how do I build legacy, right? How do I prepare people for transitions and have succession and dealing with that in organizations. So hey, this is some good information for some people. And also comment, let me know that you're here. Hey there, Jermaine Carrington, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. And then also react to the video. Okay, if I say something you like, let me see those hearts. And if I don't, hey, I don't always like everything I say either, and it's okay. You can respond to it as you see fit. But let's get into this, okay? And so, again, for those of you who may be just joining in, this is a response. Oh, there we go. My hair is all coming out as I look like a telephone operator. Um, but I'm responding to recent headlines. Of Queen Elizabeth II's death, and now her son, her heir, King Charles III, taking the throne. And who knew that this would be something that of course I guess we knew this was coming, of course. She was not immortal. We knew that the day would come, but to really be living and seeing and this transition and this new era that we're all entering is really quite remarkable. And I'm glad to be able to kind of be a part of this. Um, but I think here the first thing that we all kind of drew our attention to is the legacy that Queen Elizabeth established. That her death, and let's really talk about just her reign, of course. We're all mourning her death in some way. Um, well, I won't say all. I've seen all kind of stuff online. Not everyone, but certainly you're never going to be fully liked, right? No matter what you do. They killed Jesus. I mean, come on. If they kill Jesus, none of us are exempt from people not liking us, right? And so, trust me, we know that everyone wasn't sad that Christ was crucified, and everyone isn't sad that Queen Elizabeth died. So, hey, that's just how it is. But certainly my heart goes out to the royal family, because the interesting thing about what happens in royal families, when there isn't the case of abdication, right? That you have someone who's now having to step into a role when the monarch has died, but this is also a parent, right? So that's a really unique situation where it's not so much that you're passing the baton while you're alive, but you're realizing that it, the whole idea of you succeeding is the fact that someone has died. And so that has to be really overwhelming. Not really having the time to mourn this kind of great thing that's happening to you, but at the same time a really horrible thing, you know. And so my heart goes out to them, certainly during this time. But let's get on into some legacy objectives because you know what? I think, regardless of whether you're an executive leader, you desire to have a legacy that you can be proud of. I know I do. Right. Aside from being a business owner, executive coach, and consultant, I personally want to have a great legacy for my family. I want my family to be able to look at me when I die, looking down or whatever is going to happen, however they're going to do it, and be able to say, you know, and my friends too, anyone who knows me, to be able to say that, wow, look at the legacy she left. Look at the life that she lived. Look at the impact that she made. And so, what does legacy really look like? What are the objectives here? And so, the first thing that we should want to be careful of, regardless of whether it's in our organizations or personally, right, is to set up sustainability. And so when I think of setting up sustainability, I'm thinking about infrastructure, right? I'm thinking about everything that goes with making sure that we're here for the long haul, right? That there's longevity that is possible here. So you definitely want to have great infrastructure. You also want to make sure that with sustainability that is relevant. Like, what is your message? Right? What is the thing that you're wanting um, to be immortalized in a way, right? That you want to outlast you. What is that? And so when you think about that, then you also have to say, okay, well, what are the resources that I have to procure to make sure that it can be sustainable, right? How can I make sure that my legacy remains relevant? And then if it becomes irrelevant, but it's still because of my doing, right? It's because sustainability was so great because the work was able to continue so well that it's no longer needed, right? And that's a good problem. That's a good problem to have. You don't want culture or your competitors to determine that your legacy is no longer relevant, but you want it to be done so well, right? That everything and everyone attached to it has been built up. And so that's so important to think about. But then also synchronizing spirituality. Oh gosh, when we think about spirituality, and I'm a big champion of spirituality, um, what we're talking about is purpose. We're talking about having one purpose that we all believe in. Everyone has different purposes, right? But within your organization, like, what is that one purpose, that one vision that you're building community around? Because spirituality also has to do with that connection that we all feel to something. And so you want to make sure that your values reiterate that, and what you say and how you say it and how you demonstrate that on a regular basis. And so that's what spirituality looks like. And so you want to make sure that that's synchronized, not just in your language and how you talk about things, but also in what you do, your events, the other community initiatives and things that you support. Right? That is all synchronized, that you're constantly saying the same thing in different ways, right? That what you say matches what you do, that what you do matches where you spend your money, right? Where you put your treasure. And so that's how we can synchronize spirituality to ensure that you have a strong legacy. And then the last thing is that you also have to secure a successor. Okay, so we have, King Charles III, who was, of course, the heir. But in organizations, you need a successor as well. You need to know that you're training someone, that you are empowering someone, that you're delegating certain roles to someone so that you can help build them up and the opportunity that when you're no longer there, right, that you have someone to step in to your role and can run with it. Look at the root word of successor. It is success. So if you want a legacy, if you truly want to be successful in what you do, you got to make sure that you have a successor. Okay. And so that's important. So, executive leaders, you make sure that you're training people, that you are empowering them, that you're motivating them, that you're building their spirituality in regards to the organization, that they want to be a part of what you're doing and continue to carry the baton. Okay. So those are the three objectives of legacy. Now let's talk about succession. The first thing that you want to do when you're really preparing people for succession or someone's entering this new role is to relay important information. You don't want to hide information, okay? Now, of course, it's important that you're tactful in how you deliver this, but so often people in organizations are caught off guard with succession, with a new regime that's coming in, right? Or it's like, oh, by the way, hey, I know, it's 4 o'clock, we're almost out of here, but just to let you know, we sold the company. Yeah. And so tomorrow you'll be meeting new people and you'll be finding out what this all means. Oh my gosh. Let's stop that. Okay? Let's stop that. That's so unnecessary to do people like that. And so you need to be very tactful in relaying important information that so that people can be prepared and then also reveal facts. What do people need to know? What is the truth? And the heart of this is to create your own narrative. Because if you don't relay the important information, if you don't give the facts, then people will create their own. And then that's how rumors get started. Okay. So you want to be sure that you create the narrative that you want, to be put out there, that you want to go forth. And the closer it is rooted in the truth, right, the more powerful it will be. And it can really help you in the long run in helping people getting ready for the transition. Okay. Then you also want to reaffirm support. You want to tell people and reassure them that they're going to continue to have the support, the resources that they need. That's not going to change. And you should ensure that that doesn't change. Okay. Because, and however it changes, make sure people understand that it's to their benefit. Right. But you want to, at all costs, try your best to not take from people in the midst of big change. And so the more that you can reaffirm your support, that you can reassure them of strong leadership, informed leadership, intelligent leadership, okay, the better off things will be. And then lastly, you want to rear the team, rear them. You want to train them. You want to provide them with the necessary education to prepare them for the transition that's coming. Okay. What does that entail? Well, it depends on what kind of, transition is ahead. If it's leadership, what do people need to know about them? Are they going to have certain expectations for skills or training that you want to make sure you get ahead of? If you're the one who's leaving, is there something that you want to impart to the team or the organization before you step out? Right? What would that look like? And so, whatever that you feel is like a part of that, then you make sure that you do that as in rearing the team. I think about in the Bible when Jesus was telling the disciples that he was getting ready to leave, right? That he would be crucified, he would be taken up to heaven with his Father. But he said, I will not leave you comfortless. I will not leave you without counsel. And so what he was telling them is that even though I'm going to leave you, I want to reassure you that you're in good hands and that my Father is going to send the great counselor, right? Our great comforter to be with you, to empower you, and to ensure that you have everything you need. Now, he didn't just leave it to it, like leave, them to it, but Jesus continued to train and empower the disciples so that they felt more secure in themselves and their abilities and their capacity was expanded in his absence. He didn't consider it, a badge of honor that he would leave them in a state of neediness, right? And I feel that some leaders, are so prideful that they want to leave people in a state of neediness. And that's not okay. What kind of legacy is that, right? You shouldn't want people to need you or feel an absence or void because you're gone. You should want people to feel empowered and feel elevated because of the work you did with them, because of your leadership with them. And so that's important. And so, just like Christ, he said, listen, I'm going to train you. You're going to have everything you need. But he assured them, right, that they would not be left alone and they were in perfect hands. And so, that should be the objective for preparing your team for succession as well. Succession as well, to let them know they're in good hands. Okay. All right, and then now for transition objectives, okay? Hey, there's new leadership. There's a whole new reign starting now. And sometimes in organizations it feels the same way. It's like there's a whole new regime here. There's a new heir on the throne. Oh gosh, what is he going to do? What is she going to do? Is she gonna be like the last leader we had? Is she gonna change everything? Right? There's a lot of fear that comes around transitions with new leadership. So, one of the things that you want to do and do well is to confirm changes. Okay. And this is kind of in line with the, revealing information and facts. You want to confirm the changes. Yes. This is going to happen. Yes, we're going to have a new leader. Yes, there will be some changes to our organizational structure. Okay. Yes, there are going to be some job descriptions reviewed, and there might be some upcoming changes. You know, in the near future. You want to confirm them. You want to answer questions. Okay. You want to give people information. So one, that they can buy in to what's going on, that they can have a level of comfort. But also you want to inform people so that they can make the necessary decisions for themselves. Okay. Um, if you're a good leader, you're providing people with the information they need to make the decisions that you hope they'll make. And I won't, that's not good. I won't say a good leader. No, let's not. I don't like to use that word, and I did anyway. I'm sorry. I like to say effective. Okay. I think effective is a whole different nuance than good. So let's stick with effective. As an effective leader, you'll provide people with the information they need to make decisions for themselves that are in line with what your vision is. Okay. But it takes intention and intelligence to do that. And I'm kind of jumping ahead. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. But then the second thing you want to do is connect emotionally. One thing I loved about King Charles III's address, his first address to his constituents, was that um, he was like, I mourn the loss of my mother, right? This is a sad time for us. That was important for him to do. Not to just state, this is the change, this is what's coming up, I want to reassure you, but to humanize the moment and to say, I know that we're all hurting. I know that this is a difficult time for all of us. It is for me too. That was my mother. And then he just lost his father, like a little over a year ago. So he made that emotional connection. And that is so important to do, to learn how to use pathos, right? As that persuasive type language to connect with people. Because I always say what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And then you want to commit to the good work. Okay, now the Bible talks about good work. So that tells me if there's good work, there's also bad work, right? We can be busy building things that don't need to be built. We could be busy doing things that don't need to be done, that shouldn't be done, right? That are only going to hurt people. So not all work is good work, but we should commit to the good work. And one of the things that he did in his address was to say, I'm committed to the things that my mom was committed to. I'm committed to ensuring that, you know, everyone feels represented by the monarchy and so on, right? And so that is so reassuring that you talk about what the good work is and you commit to that. Not just in speech, but your infrastructure, your policies and procedures, um, your celebrations, any rituals or things that you're establishing, you want to have the same message, right? Kind of going back to synchronizing spirituality. Okay, so commit to the good work. It's definitely one of those objectives you don't want to miss. Okay, so what do all legacies, successions, and transitions require? They require I squared. I couldn't get the little square thing on here, so I had to write it out. But that is intentional intelligence. God is intentional and intelligent about everything he does with you. Everything. Nothing is by happenstance. Nothing is accidental. Nothing is just because. Everything he does is intelligent and intentional. And so we should model ourselves as well by saying, everything that I do, I don't care how spiritual it is. I don't care how small it seems. I don't care how big it might be. Everything needs to be done with intention and intelligence, right? Intention on purpose, for a purpose, right? Planned, strategized, right? And then intelligence, wisdom, getting an understanding, researching, utilizing data, right? But not just, this is what sure, I'll just go with that, right? But really, prayer, seeking wisdom and guidance about the things that you do. And so I certainly want to encourage everyone to do that. Now, implications of all of this, okay? Legacies, succession, transitions, and organizations. What are the implications for spiritual change readiness? Well, this is the topic that I research. For my doctoral dissertation, and so it's near and dear to my heart, and it is proven in other research to be true, and that is the more that people engage in their work, okay, meaning they have a sense of calling, they feel purpose driven in what they do, and okay, and a sense of community, meaning they feel like they belong. They feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves, right? That in itself fosters acceptance of change and in turn reduces fear towards change and reduces cynicism towards change in organizations. That is powerful, right? So, what does that say to you as an executive leader? That says that you need to make every effort to ensure that people are engaged in their work, again, feeling a sense of purpose, and that they feel that they're a part of something bigger than themselves, right? That they feel like their work matters, their opinion matters, how they feel about something matters. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that because they have certain feelings that it's like, oh, what do you want us to change? We'll do whatever you want. It's not that. I don't think anyone, well, there are few, but most people don't go to work saying, if they don't agree with how I feel about this, right? Like, that's it. But people just want to be heard. They want to know that their feelings are validated, that they're affirmed, and that they're being considered, right? And all the in all the infrastructure that is being built, okay, and all the initiatives that are going forward. So please heed that, right? And if you see that you're not paying attention to that, if you're constantly wondering why people are pushing back, why they're resisting change, why they don't like it, why they're always bickering, that's probably why. Okay, that's probably why. Because they don't feel engaged in their work. They're in fact probably disengaged. They just don't care. It's just a job, right? To get paid. And they don't feel like they belong. They don't have that sense of membership. Okay. They don't feel like they're seen and heard. And so definitely pay attention to that. And y'all, that's it. Okay. For the response to headlines and helping us with legacies, successions, and transitions in the workplace. And so follow me for other response videos that you may have missed. Definitely check them out. You can learn more about me and my company, Lead My Heart, at leadmyheart.com. And you can follow us on all social media at Lead My Heart 2022. Okay. So comment, let me know, what did you think about this? Is there anything that you would like to add about legacies, successions, and transitions in organizations? Hey, if there are any questions you want to ask, also feel free to drop them in the comment section. But y'all, that's it for today. And I pray that you have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, in everything you do and with everything you have, love God and love people. Goodbye.